I am going to make a quilt without a pattern from this leftover fabric. It's spooky and sweeter, and there's some spooky and witchy in here as well. It's going to be so much fun. Why don't you join me? I love Halloween, and that's what this video is going to be about today. In fact, I'm wearing my costume. I'm going as a quilter. Not really, but we can never have enough quilting t-shirts, right? I got this one from an Etsy shop called Stella Vita Studio. I'm telling you, it is the softest shirt. It fits perfectly. I love it. And they have so many cute quilting designs. You ought to go check them out. And they're pretty dang affordable. Now, you're not going to believe this, but Sister has a costume too. Yep, here she is. Sister is all dressed up as a skeleton rooster. Can you believe it? She's such a sport. I love my little sister chick. Enough silliness. She is going to sew with me, however. About 2 years ago, I totally fell in love with the Art Gallery Spooky and Sweeter line, and I just bought a yard of everything. It was so much. Well, they've added to it every year, and this year, or maybe it was last year, I don't know, but I saw it in a fabric store. They have Spooky and Witchy, and it is adorable. And of course, it all goes with this fabric. Let me show you what I have. When I made this quilt, I was not using a pattern. I just made a bunch of pieces that look like this. Well, that didn't work. I just made a bunch of pieces that look like this. This is a 5-inch square. This is a 1.5-inch strip, and this is a 1.5-inch cornerstone. And you know what? Look at these. I did a little more than I needed. So I had some leftover fabric, and I wanted to put it all together. Whoops, there goes Sister. I want to show you what I have. I'm putting it all together, and I am making another Halloween quilt because each of my kids' homes are going to get a Halloween quilt. But this is spooky and witchy, and check out the backing I'm going to use. Isn't that the cutest in the world? I also wanted something easy, mellow, minimal measuring. So I just kind of made up an easy pattern. A 9-patch, a rail fence, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I did this with this block. Look at that. This is this block that I showed you. I just put some more strips on it and cornerstones. I'm going to put the measurements in the description below, but I'll also talk about them. I made a 9-patch. Now, look at the 9-patch. It's upside down. Doesn't really matter. This is a 4.5-inch block, and 9 of those makes a 12.5-inch block. This is my rail fence, and these strips are all 3.5 inches by 12.5 inches. You know what? I've always loved the pink ghosts. I think they're so stinking cute. And then I have one more block that I made out of this block. Let me show it to you. Do you see what's in the middle of this block? Yes, it is those extra blocks. I went ahead and just log cabined around them and trimmed them down to a 15-inch block. This quilt is going to be so fun, no stress, so easy. Let's get to it. I have a few shout outs. Corey Giles, Linda Jillian, and Claudia Warren are all going to go out and buy beach towels and put them on the back of their quilts, along with about 65 of the rest of you out there. Last week's video was so much fun. I was surprised at how it turned out. You guys were surprised. Hey, let's do something a little different. Thanks for watching, you three, and everybody else. It's fun to see where all of you viewers have checked in from. Susan Rafferty in Columbus, Ohio, to Trudy O'Hara in Perth, Australia, and then Princess Frances from Hawaii. It's been so much fun reading your notes and knowing that you're watching from such a far distance. Isn't social media wonderful? let's get on with the block making. I'm going to start with the rail fence block first. All I did was cut a bunch of strips that were 3.5 inches wide by 12.5 inches long, because this block finishes at 12.5 inches. And I lay them out like so. Look at the cute poison bottles. Isn't that just precious? Okay, I'll do it right side up so you can see. Oh, and we have to have a spider web. Here's a cute spider web. And what else do I have? Maybe something pink. This one is from Spooky and Witchy. Look at the fun graphics. The hands on the crystal ball, the skulls, the poison bottle. This is just too much fun for me. And that's it. That's the rail fence. And then you just sew them together at 1/4 of an inch. You know, it helps to have your machine turned on. And then I'll just sew these and we'll be done. Now you know what I mean by mindless sewing. You know, I just needed something easy that I didn't have to think about, and this is working out. Let's move on to the 9-patch. You all know how a 9-patch works. You just lay it out in 9-patch fashion. I think I'll put the bottles in it. Gotta have the pink ghosts. I love the pink ghosts. Sister, you're hogging the table. This fabric is just so much fun. It makes me happy. There's some purple bats, some witches' hats. I'm gonna put the witches' hats down. Oh, I think I'll put them right here so they're on the corner with that. This one is cute. The kitty cat wearing a witch's hat. Let's see, what do I, ooh, I want to use this black one. There we go. You happy with that? There, I like that. So to sew a 9-patch, how I do it, just by taking the first row, turning it over, the second row, turning it over to the middle, and the third row. Then I cut the 2 off because I'm going to be chain piecing, cutting my thread on my machine. So I take this one, and there's row number 1 done after I sew it together. Let's get the pink ghosts sewn in place. This one went here, this one went here, and I just need to put the cats on here. At this point, you have some choices to make, and those choices are to iron or not to iron. It really doesn't matter because these seams are so easy to finger press. This is how I've always done a 9-patch. I always press the center seams to the middle, the outside seams, the top and the bottom, to the outside, just like that. They're easy to put together and they're always standard. I can always count on them being the same. So I nest them, and I'm not using pins. You can use pins if you want, but it's pretty darn easy to nest these. And that just kind of holds it in without a pin. As long as you've got good values, you know, your darks and lights are together good. Before I took this one to the iron, this rough fit, I realized this one was cut a little crooked, and I'm going to unpick this off the end. Let me show you what I'm going to do. I don't want to spend time unpicking. The reason I did that is because this is quality fabric. It's got a lot of threads per inch, and I do that on occasion when I'm working with a really good fabric. If I have a fabric that's a little looser in weave and is going to stretch out, I generally don't unpick with the rip method. But I just wanted you to know I'm human and I will do it if it calls for it. This one actually is a better fit and it doesn't have that funky cut on it. I'm just going to repair this really quick. Okay, I'm happy with these 2 blocks. I'm going to put them over here on the ironing board. I am ready to make one of these blocks that don't have a name. I guess I'm going to call it the log cabin. And I'm going to start with this black piece of Witch's wardrobe. The names of this are too adorable too. And I want to make this block 12.5 by 12.5. And I'm going to sew on this side, this side, this side, and this side. And that's about right. That's about how much I want to put on. Yeah, because that will give me a nice piece for this side. Let's whack about 3¼ inches off of this. And then I'm just going to, with right sides together, sew it up. Then I'm going to take it to my iron and press it down. I'm ready to put a strip along this side. Let's see, I don't know that I want purple. I don't want cats, that's for sure. I think I want a piece of this along the bottom. And I probably want it to go this way. So I'm just going to whack it off. Do you guys whack? I know that's a quilter's technical term. And by the way, there is no size on this. I'm just doing it as I'm going along. Like I'll make one size bigger and one size smaller. Let's see if there's something cute. Oh, I like this scene right here with the pumpkins. So I'm gonna go from this end. Sorry, sister. And this is how technical I'm getting. I'm just gonna lay it down, cut off a piece. And I'm gonna take this piece and lay it like so, sew it down. That's kind of cute, don't you think? I'm going to trim this side off. And come up with something to go on this side. I want some color because this block seems to be all black and white. Maybe I will put the purple bats versus the pumpkins. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's see. Using my ruler, I want about, again, this is a 12-inch ruler. So I'm going to cut about, and I'll need some seam allowance, a 3-inch strip. This is really improv all the way. Oh, this is cute because these bats are flying up. I'll show you when I sew it. How many of you have sewn with art gallery fabric? I absolutely love it. It feels like silk. Then I'm going to take it to the iron. Oh, this is looking cute. I think it needs some orange. This has a lot of orange in it. Look at that. It's just the right width. This one is going to get sewn on here like so. And here is my untrimmed improv block. Now, to finish it, I'm going to get my 12.5-inch square, place it on here. Oh my gosh. You know what I did? I cut it way too close. This needs another strip of something on it. But that works out because it's improv, you know? Who cares? My black is gonna come in handy for this. Now I'm going to use my 12-inch square. And ta-da, there is my 12.5-inch block. So this is my last one that I did. I'm going to take you to the design wall because this baby is going to be a layout quilt. I am so excited to get this up on my design wall. I haven't seen it. I don't know what I'm doing. I know it's going to be scrappy looking, and you know, I think it's going to be a little bit of a Halloween-y I Spy quilt. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And you know, I work really, really fast. What do you think? I'm really liking it. I think it's super cute. It's scrappy, it's Halloween-y, and it's pink. I love that pink is in the new Halloween colors. All the designers are putting it in. How much fun is this? Oh, this is just so cute. I'm gonna make an executive decision since I'm the designer, and I'm gonna sew it up. Let's get started. I have my rows picked up from the design wall and laid out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 order. And with my pinning method, I'm just going to sew the ones that are together and complete my rows, put them on the design wall. Here I go. It is done. Isn't it adorable? It's cute. It's nice sized. I needed something simple, and this really fit the bill. It is 5 blocks across and 6 blocks down. And when your blocks are 12.5 inches, boy, does it go together fast. So let me give you some time here. I took one day, and you know, I piddled. I didn't cut everything out in one sitting. I took breaks, I ran errands, I did what I wanted to do, or I did what I needed to do, and I got all of these pieces cut out. For the 9 patch, I cut 4.5-inch square blocks. For the rail fence, I cut 3.5-inch by 12.5-inch blocks. And then for the log cabin, this block right here, I freeformed it. I used what I had. That's really fun to do. So there you have it. Those are my measurements. Isn't it simple? You can see where you don't need a pattern, and you can do something fantastic with any fabric that you want. Let me look at my list and see. Oh, did I tell you there were no seams to match? Also, there was no squaring up. There was no starching of fabric. This was easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Now sewing this together, it took about 1 hour. And that included sewing all of the rows and sewing the rows together. This is such a fun, easy quilt. Happy Halloween. Sister says, aren't you going to show them the backing? Yeah, I'll show you the backing. What do you think? This is in the line. I couldn't resist. It was fun dressing up for Halloween as a quilter and having sister dress up as a skeleton rooster. You know, we're just a fun pair like that. Oh, one last thank you. Someone bought me 3 cups of herb tea. Thank you, someone. I really appreciate you. I guess you're somewhere out there. Next week, I'm going to try and do another Halloween quilt. I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. So I'm going to do another quilt because I want to shower my family with all Halloween quilts. Until next week, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, I'd love a subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.